Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. For this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this really pretty stitch that you can use for a bracelet, a necklace, and I'm even thinking that it would look really cool in a headband. So what I really like about this stitch is you can use different sizes and different name brands of seed beads for the stitch. So with this set here I used 11 Preciosa seed beads. This is what it looks like. That's a transparent purple. I've had these seed beads for a long time and I'm happy to finally use them in something. I noticed that there are little hints of purple in this red bead and in that blue in there, so I thought it looked pretty neat with these beads. So the set that I'm making in the video, I'm using 10 seed beads. Now because 10 are bigger than 11 I had to adjust the amount that I used. So I had to use more for this set here, but in the set I'm going to show you in the video, I'm actually using less seed beads in each unit that I make because they are bigger. So that is something to keep in mind. And also what I really like about this stitch is you can use different sizes of beads for the top to decorate it. So this one here I did 4mm check fire polish beads for the bracelet, and for the necklace I did 3mm check fire polish beads. And the beads that I used in both of these are from the Dollar Bead Box. I noticed, I've been subscribed to them for a year now, that they started sending the same color in 2 different sizes in their dollar bead bag, which is only $8 a month. Very cheap and affordable. And I realized that this would be a great project to use with a dollar bead bag because they're doing that, a 3 and 4mm check fire polish beads. So I really love how this turned out. This is a color I don't usually put together, but I think it looks pretty cool. So for the top of this stitch you can also use different shapes of beads. So like I said, you could do 3 and 4mm beads, but you can also do bicones, you can do rounds like pearls, and faceted beads, and check fire polish beads. So you have a lot of different choices, and this is definitely one of those projects that you will have the beads for in your stash. So make sure that you go through your stash and see what all you have. And I like to do 3 different colors in this, but if you want you can do all one color. It's up to you. So let's get started and I'll tell you everything you will need. Here is the list of materials you will need to make a bracelet or a necklace. You will need 9 feet of either fireline or monofilament, and this goes for the bracelet or the necklace. I both use 9 feet for both of those, okay? So you can use a 6-pound or 8-pound fireline for this, or you can use a 6-pound monofilament. And I discovered that tulip beading needles work with 6-pound monofilament. You don't have to smash this monofilament with chain nose pliers to make it fit through the needle. It just slides right through these needles, no problem. And I've tried doing monofilament in the past with needles and I couldn't get them to work. It was too big, but the tulip needles are pretty great. They work with this stuff here. So you will also need size 10 beading needles, and again I'm using the Tulip brand. And for the bracelet you will need somewheres between 96 and 108 3mm or 4mm beads, again for the bracelet. For the necklace I used 136 3mm beads. Now the amount of beads you will need for the top will vary depending on the size of your seed beads, the size, again, of beads you're using for the top. Also, your clasp will factor in how many beads you will need, so it's kind of hard to say exactly how many you will need, but there's just a ballpark for you guys. You can also use, like I said, different sizes of seed beads in different brands, so you can do Miyuki, Toho, Check, you know, different brands. You could probably even do Delicas. And actually I realized that bugle beads would probably be really awesome for the base of this bracelet. You just have to have some large bugle beads. I'm thinking like 7-8mm bugle beads. I'd have to measure them, but those would probably work for the base too for this, and it would make it a lot faster than using seed beads. So again, you will need 11 or 10 seed beads. I'm actually using Vintage Venetian in the opaline color right here. And you will need 2 jump rings or split rings, and a clasp of your choice. I'm using a toggle clasp, which is kind of large, so I don't have to use as many beads. Again, that's something you have to factor in on this. And this is the list of materials, and I will put everything down there below the video. Click show more and you'll see it. Also, I have notes down there on different things, so make sure you look down there so you can get all the information you need to make this project. So let's do this. So one thing I have learned playing with this stitch is you can use different sizes and different name brands of seed beads, but you will have to adjust the amount to work with your beads on the top. So this necklace here I did with 3mm check fire polish beads. So flipping it over on the back, I did 11/0 check preciosa seed beads. So this here is a unit, the first unit I made of this stitch, and I have 16 11/0 seed beads in this unit. So when I added another one, I picked up 12 seed beads. So each wall has 4 seed beads in it, okay? And again, these are 11/0s. So when I went to do the 10/0 seed beads, I knew that I was going to have to use less. So this here is the necklace I started working on. And this again is 3mm check fire polish. Now on the back of this one, I used less seed beads. I have 12 seed beads in a unit. So each wall has 3 seed beads. So here you go. There you could see the difference. See how much bigger those 10/0s are compared to these 11/0s? So you will have to play around and adjust the amount of seed beads to work with your beads. And I'm also going to have to adjust the amount for this one here. So again, this has 16 seed beads in each unit, right? Well, this one I had to do 20. I had to add more. And you have to do an even number. So that's what the back looks like for this one. So these seed beads here are larger, so I won't be using as many as I used in that bracelet. Okay, so I hope that made sense. You will just have to adjust the amount of seed beads to work with the beads that you're using on top. And by the way, if I did 12 seed beads in this in this necklace, like I did in this one, my check fire polish beads, they would be standing up. They won't be laid down at an angle. See how they are laid at an angle? They would be standing straight up, and you would see their holes. And the 11/0 seed beads wouldn't be seen as well. They would be hidden on the back. And, you know, using our seed beads, we want to see them. So that's why I added another seed bead in each wall so that the seed beads are seen. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So now I'm going to show you how to start this. So I'm thinking that I'm going to need 16 10/0 seed beads in a unit. So I'm going to pick up 16, and I got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And you always want to double check and make sure that you have the right amount. Okay, I do. So sliding my 16 beads down, and again, you might need a different amount. It depends on, you know, what your brand you're using, what size you're using for the top. Okay, so I am going to leave a 8-inch tail because it is the perfect amount to come back and add my little beaded loop for the clasp or for the necklace, jump ring, whatever you want. Okay, so there's my beads. I'm coming back through them again, making a circle, going back through all of them. And remember, I'm doing 16 10/0s, but in that one that I did with 4mm, with 11/0s, I had to do 20. And I'm thinking if you do Miyuki, you probably have to do 20 also. Okay, so I'm going to close this up. So you can see here I just made a circle. Now I could tie a knot right here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait till later. So I'm just going to take my needle and pass through 4 beads, just like this. So it's good just to not tie a knot there. We'll tie knots later. In case you have any boo-boos, you can just take this apart and reuse this thread. Okay, so there is my 8-inch tail, and I'm good to go. So I'm just going to wrap the tail around my fingers and keep it tight. And I'm going to pick up my first color, and I do have a color pattern going on in my necklace here. I have clear, this AB hematite, and that opal color, aqua opal or green opal, something like that. So I'm going to do that. I have my beads laid down in the pattern that I have to pick up. So I'm going to pick up one 4mm, one seed bead, and one 4mm. So this is my working tail. I'm Xing out in this direction. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to count from this tail 4 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to go through the 5th one. I'm looking in my camera viewfinder and it's a little hard to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go through these 4 right here. Okay, so remember this is like squares. Right now it's a circle, but it's actually squares that are connected. So I'm going to pull this through. Okay, it's kind of like a Z I just made, zigzagging. Pull that tight. Now I have this. Now I'm going to take my needle and pick up one 4mm. Okay, this is my working thread. I'm going to take my needle and pass through this seed bead. And I'm going to hold this between my fingers because if I don't, it'll loosen up. And man, it'll be noticeable that it's loose. Pull the thread through. And if you have to, and I always do it just to make sure it's tight, I come back, I pull this tail there, and then I grab this again and I pull that through so it's not loose. So now we have this. Okay, now I'm going to pick up a 4mm bead. Okay, so see right here where my little tail is Xing out of? I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go in where that tail's at, and I'm going to go through 4 beads because that's how many beads I have in a wall, because I'm doing 16. So passing through there, pull the thread through, pull it tight, and also flatten it some. It helps shape the piece. And that's what we have. Okay, so here's my tail that I will be adding a beaded loop for a clasp. And now what I have to do is just take my needle and pass through these 4 right here. Okay, just like that. Make sure you pass through these 4. Okay. So now we are ready to add more seed beads. So now I'm going to hold it like this, and I have 16 beads, seed beads in a unit. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up 12 because I have 4 right here, and I'm going to be sharing these with the first unit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, double check. Sometimes I accidentally pick up a bead. Okay, so I'm coming out right here in this direction. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go back through these 4, so I'm coming out again in the same direction. Pull the needle through. Okay, so now I have this. So now I'm going to take my next color and a seed bead and another 4mm. I'm coming out right here in that direction. I'm going to take my needle, coming down here, okay. I'm going to count 4 seed beads, and then I'm going to go up the 5th one and pass through 4. Just like that. Pull this through. And before you pull this all the way down, make sure this is tight, and then pull those beads up on top. Just like that. I'm going to take this needle, pick up one of my 4mm, and I'm going to pass through this seed bead here in the center, and hold this between my fingers so it doesn't loosen up, and pull the thread through. And then when you pull it down, it looks just like that. Now I have to take my needle, pick up one 4mm, and I'm going to go back through these 4 beads in between these 2 units right there. Okay? Pull this through. And pull it tight. And there we go. We have 2 units complete. And again, push it down with your thumb, flatten it so they're sitting properly. And now I have to take my needle. I'm coming out between these 2. I'm going to reposition my needle and go through these 4 seed beads right here. Okay, through there, and pull this tight, just like that. Now I'm going to pick up 12 seed beads. So I'm repeating the same step over, but this time I'm going to be using this color. So 12, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see. Okay, there's my 12. I'm coming out right here. I'm going to take my needle, I'm going to pass back through these 4, coming out in the same direction. Pull my thread through. Okay, and now I'm ready to add my 3rd color. So I'm going to pick up one 4mm, one seed bead, and one 4. Coming out here, I'm going to go to the top and count 5 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go down the 5th one and go through a total of 4. So when you pass through them, you should have 4 seed beads in the top, 4 on the bottom, and 4 there. Okay, pull this through. And again, before I pull it through, I'm going to tighten this up because that's loose. And then tighten this up here. Pull that tight, just like this. Now I'm going to take my needle and pick up one 4mm. My thread's coming out here, so I have to take my needle and go through this 1 seed bead. Hold it between my fingers, pull the thread through, and it pops into place. Now I'm going to pick up one 4mm, take my needle, and I'm going to pass through these 4 here. Just like this, pull it on through. Okay, and see how they're kind of laying funny? Just push it with your thumb. You may even have to come from behind and push them up so they sit right, and pull this very tight. Okay, so now we have 3 units. So now I have to reposition my needle again. So every time after we add that 4mm, we go through 4, and then we have to reposition our needle. So I'm going to pass through these 4. Pull the thread through. So now I have this. So again, I have to pick up 12 seed beads. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, double check, 4, 4, 4, that's all 12. Take the needle, I'm coming out here, I'm going to pass through these 4, so I'm coming out in the same direction, pull the thread through, just like this. Now I'm going to start with the color, the very first color I have here. Because I have 3 colors, I'm working with 3, I have to do the clear again. So pick up one of those, one of these, and one of these. A 4mm, a seed bead, and a 4mm. Coming out here, I have to come down here. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 beads. I have to go through the 5th one. Just like that. So I have 4 walls, and in each wall I have 4 seed beads. And it's kind of confusing because if you are doing 3mm beads, you will have less beads. So you just have to think of 4 walls and how many beads you have in each wall. Okay, so this is what I have now. I have to pick up 1 4mm. Coming out here, I'm going to take my needle and pass through this seed bead. Hold it like this between my fingers so it doesn't loosen up. Pull the thread through. Just like this. Picking up another 4mm. Coming out the seed bead, I'm going to pass through these 4 seed beads. In between these 2 units. Pull this thread through. Pull it tight. And there we go. Now I'm going to take this needle and pass through these 4 right here. That's what it looks like so far. And now I'm going to do my second color. Before I do that, I have to do 12 seed beads again. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 4, 8, 12. Okay, I'm going to take my needle, go back through these 4 here. Now I have my little beaded loop. I'm going to pick up a 4mm, a seed bead, and a 4mm in my second color. Coming out this bead, I'm going to go to the top because I'm at the bottom, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go through the 5th one. 4 beads, just like that in my little square. Pull the thread through, and before you tighten it right here, and then pull this through and pull it all tight. Now I have to pick up 1 4mm and go through this seed bead. Again, hold it between your fingers so it doesn't loosen. Okay, I'm going to pick up another 4. Coming out there, I have to go in between these 2 units. So I'm going through those 4 seed beads in between the 2 units. Pulling the thread through. Pull it tight, but not so tight that you rip it out of your hand. Okay. Again, you want to flatten that with your thumb so they sit together nicely. Then I'm going to take my needle and I have to reposition my needle again. So I'm going to go through these 4. Pull it through. And now I'm going to do my 3rd color. Okay, so I just did my 2nd color. So again, I have to pick up 12 seed beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4, 8, 12. Take the needle, pass through these 4. Just like that. Onto my third color, picking up 1 4mm, 1 seed bead, 1 4mm, coming out here, coming down. I'm at the top, so I'm coming down, counting over 1 2 3 4, going through the 5th bead, going through a total of 4, just like that. Pull the thread through, and again pull this tight, and then pull that tight. Picking up 1 4mm, coming out here, passing through that seed bead there in the middle, pulling the thread through, picking up 1 4mm, and then going in between these 2 units. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. It's not bad. When I first made this, I actually did the base first, all seed beads. And then I decorated the top, and it was really confusing, and I realized, why am I doing it this way? I could probably do the top and the bottom at the same time. So I took it apart, and I figured out how to do the seed beads and the top at the same time, instead of doing the base and then decorating the base. So now I have to take the needle. I'm coming out here, and I need to reposition my needle and pass through these 4 seed beads. And I think I'm going to do this just one more time with you guys to make sure you have the hang of it. So I just repositioned my needle. I'm going to pick up 12 seed beads. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 4 8 12. Okay, coming out here, I'm gonna go back around and pass through these 4 again. Then I have my little loop there, and then I'm going to pick up my next color, which is going to be the clear. So pick up one of those, a seed bead, and another one of my clear. Coming out here, I'm at the bottom, so I have to go up to the top and I have to count 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm gonna go down through these 4 here. Okay, that's right. Pull the thread through, and again I like to make sure that this is tight, and then I pull just like that. I'm gonna pick up 1 4mm. I'm coming out here. I'm gonna take my needle, pass through this seed bead, pull the thread through, just like that. Picking up another 4mm, and I'm gonna take my needle in between these 2 units here through the 4 seed beads. Pull this tight. Okay, and I have to step up to add another unit. So I'm going to take my needle and pass through these 4. Just like that. So keep on going, doing this stitch until you have the length you need for a bracelet. And I'm going to show you how to do the necklace. I'll go to that next. Okay? I'll do the necklace next, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to finish off the bracelet. So now I'm going to show you how to turn this stitch into a necklace, and it's going to be very easy to do. It's this part right here that I'm going to show you how to do. And one thing I realized about this stitch is there's these little holes. See the little holes right here? And I thought, how cute would it be if I put some pendants or charms onto this, because I have a bunch of stuff like this and I don't use them all the time, and I thought this was a great opportunity to use some of my charms, and it works great. So you can also use any charm pendant you want for this necklace. So keep in mind that now that we are going to the 3mm beads, we are using less seed beads. So in the bracelet I had, what was it? It was 16 seed beads in a unit. Now I'm going to 12 because I'm using 3mm beads. Now when I go to do the necklace, what I did is I'm using beads from the dollar bead box. So I have three 50 bead strands of check fire polish beads. So I took all of my beads and I separated in half down the middle. So if you're using beads from your stash, you would want to count your beads for this, okay? And you would want to separate them in half. Use one half for this side and one half for that side there. So looking at this here, do you see how this here is straight, this line? If I turn and move this to this side, do you see how the line is like this now? So see how my necklace here, so I have a straight line here and here. These two units are going straight. I think this looks better. So I am going to have this that I've already completed be on this side, okay, to match this here so it's straight. So right now, this is where I'm at in my stitch. I have just one more 3mm opal bead to put on. It's going to go right here. So I'm going to take my needle and pass through these 3 seed beads. Pull it through. Okay, just like that, right? Now what would we normally do? Well, we would take our needle and we would pass through these beads right here, right? So we can make another unit. Well, we're doing a V shape here for our necklace. So looking at this, instead of going through these 3 right here and the unit we just completed, we have to go back to this unit. Okay? So instead of going through these 3 to add a new unit, we're going to go through these to get our V shape. Just like that. So I'm going to turn this around so I can work with it and pull my needle through. Okay, so now I'll lay this back down. Now what you're going to want to do is mirror what we already did on this side. So see, I have the hematite color right here, this AB hematite. Beside it, I'm going to do the clear AB so I can match this side. So I'll pick this up again, and because I'm doing the 3mm, I have to do 9 seed beads instead of 12. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see, 4 and 5. Okay. Coming out here, I'm going to go through these 3. I have to mirror what I did on this side, so I will be picking up the clear. Coming out here, I'm coming at the bottom, I'm going to go up to the top, count over 1, 2, 3, 4. Go down here, just like that. Pull this through, make sure this stays tight as we bring these beads on down. Okay, I have to pick up one of these 3mm. Coming out here, I'm going to pass my needle through this seed bead. Just like that. Picking up a 3mm. I'm going to go through these 3 here. And pull this tight. So where do I have to go next? Well, I'll lay it down like this so you can see. We just did the V, okay? I have to go in this direction. So I'm going to take my needle and pass through these 3 beads right here. Okay, just like this. And I don't know why this looks so screwy to me. Okay, there it goes. So I just did this. So looking over here, the next color I have to do is this opal color. So the opal Again, I'm just mirroring what I did already. Looking at this here, I'm going to have to do the opal color, and the opal is stacked right on top of this clear. So I'm going to pick up my 9 beads, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is this 9? Yes, it is 9. Okay, picking up my 9, passing through these 3 here. Then I'm picking up my opal, 3 millimeters. And I have to, I'm coming at the top, so I'm going to come down to the bottom, get 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go through this 4th bead. So see that, my little square there? Pass through here, pick up 1 opal bead, pass through this seed bead, just like this, pull it on through, like that, pick up 1 more green bead, a green opal, and pass through those 3 seed beads. And pull this tight. Okay? So now I have to step up by going through these 3 right here. So it's pretty simple. So now what do? Well, I can lay this down. Okay, I'm mirroring what I already did, so I could see that I have to come off of this and add the hematite color. And then once I do the hematite here, I have to do the clear. So I'm just kind of zigzagging, and I have to look back each time to make sure I'm adding the right color, so it mirrors each other, okay? So keep going doing this until you have the same amount on each side, and I'm going to show you how to finish the end off right here with a little seed bead loop. It's very simple, and the same goes for the bracelet and the necklace. Now I'm going to show you how to finish the end of this stitch off. So what I did is I took my needle off of my working tail. Okay, this over here is my working tail. See, it's much longer than this one. I took my needle off and I put it onto the short tail because I'm not sure how many units I need for this bracelet because the count of seed beads are different. So you're probably going to want to do the same thing I'm doing. Take your needle off the long tail, put it on the short tail, and right now this is where I'm at. Okay, I'm between these beads right here. So I have 4 there, 4 here, and there's 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and pass through this 1 seed bead like that. Okay, I'm going to pick up 6 seed beads for my loop. And I did the same amount for the 11 O's. I picked up 6 for the loop, okay? And I'm also going to pick up half of my clasp. Slide it down. Okay, I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pass through these 2 seed beads. Just like that. See that? So there's 3 there and there's 3 there. Okay? Pull it through, make a little circle, just like this. Now I'm going to reinforce this circle 3 to 4 times. Okay, so there's going through here, will be my second time. Pull it tight. I'm going to go through again. You just want to reinforce this because usually when a beaded bracelet or necklace breaks, it's usually where the clasp is at. So I reinforce this a few times. Okay, so now I'm going to start tying knots. So I reinforced mine 3 times. I'm coming out here. I'm just going to pass through 1 more bead right there. And now I'm going to start tying knots. I'm going to take my needle, go underneath, make a loop, and pass through the loop twice. Bring the knot down and put it right there. I'm gonna pass through, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 beads. Pull it, the knot slides into those beads, and I'm going to tie another knot through here, make a loop, pass through it twice, bring it down, pass through 2 more beads, and tie another knot. So I keep doing this for as long as I can, you know, till my thread gets really short, then I can't do it no more. But I just go around here, okay, go in between these two, come out, I tie some knots in here, come around, and I just follow my thread path, going like this, okay. Now you can't get too far with this one, but the other one is longer, and you will be able to really weave back into the bracelet. And do that as much as you can, as far as you can go, because it really does make the bracelet last longer. So this is how you do the end. And now I just have to measure this and try it on and see if I have to add another unit or not for this one, because the seed beads on this one are bigger. I might have to, I don't know, add one or take one away. I'll see how it goes. So just go ahead and finish your bracelet off and you'll be all done. So I just finished this bracelet here, and I realized that this one has 3 more units. Even though these 2 bracelets look like they are the same size, this one has 3 more units in this one than this one. It's because these 10OC beads are so large. That's why I had to add 3 more units to this one, and so that is 12 more beads, 12 more 4mm beads to that. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. This is it. I have to finish the necklace to this one, and I'll be taking pictures tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.